Hello and welcome to another Impulsive Compulsion here at Question the Truth with me, Lightbringer. And well, if I'm to talk about religions or life philosophies, which I did last in the last video, I should also then be talking about this one, the Lightbringer we call Messiah, and the Lightbringer we call the Antichrist. Anyway, I'm going to start off with the Messiah, and we'll see how it goes. If it's going to be both in this video, or if you're gonna have to take in some information in the next video. So why not have this in the background then? Cause yeah, so I can firstly start off with saying to people that I've been telling people that, well, I've been referring myself to others to be a Messiah, which I'm not. There can only be one Messiah. But Messiah means messenger, right? And messengers come with words of good and or words of bad, and I'm lost. You know this, the word Messiah, I actually made a video. No, not a video. I talked about some other people about the word Messiah and how it's taken in, judged upon by others, how others see it. Like, it becomes this. I had my awakening 2016 somewhere in May, and I woke up in the middle of the night after I've had I can't really remember right now, but I had 3 days where everything in my body, everything, meat, minerals, vitamins, water, it was like I can't really first off, it started with me having ADHD and kidney stones for the first time in my life, and I had never had it, and I have never had it since. And it's one kind of cleaning of the body, and it got worse. Oh damn, it got worse. I thought I was going to die for 3 days because in these 3 days I'm not the person that goes to a doctor. First off, I was on medication. I was eating antidepressants for the first time in my life, and they turned out instead giving me a serotonin syndrome. Yeah, I felt really good actually. So for about 4 months, where my worldviews just bam. Well, not before the third day though, but the 3 days that I endured was everything coming out of my body. Everything. I don't like talking about it. Like, I was shedding water for 3 days. Water is supposed to be coming out of somewhere else, not from the big trout in the back. So I was naturally kind of afraid, but I didn't think of it that much. 'Cause, well, what the hell, I don't really care. And the first time was like, okay, I've got a bad stomach, it's not no big problem. And then it just escalated and got worse and worse and worse, and then I was like, I can't even keep anything in my body. And then I was like reborn. On the third day I was like reborn, like nulled. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like being a child again before I did all the stupid things. So I was euphoric, was happy all the time, and it's kept being like this. Now also I don't see the negative things in things like that. I just get really happy about it, and thinking back on it makes me happy, really, really happy, because it was such a liberation of the oppression that I had gone through mentally for such a long time, because I had been depressed from the age of 6, 7 somewhere, until the day where I no longer felt oppressed. I just liberated, everything was gone, and then all the strange things started happening. Because I've been through strange things before. Okay? Like, I've seen other people's dreams manifest before me. I've seen transparent entities on the graveyards. I've smelt things that I I've smelled things that kind of feels strange. It's like I was so certain that a rape had happened one night. I was so certain. So I ran. And I ran to the spot where it emitted this smell. And I heard someone cry. So I looked to the right of me, and there was a girl sitting in the bus stop. There's nothing strange about it, right? Shouldn't be. So I saw her, and I heard her. I heard her, and I saw her exactly like I usually see other people, like the people around me when I go out, when I go to the store. I see all the people wandering around. It was so real. And she was sitting there like she was waiting for the bus. I was 17, I think. That evening was crazy because that was the first and only time that I saw auras. But I saw her and I wanted to go to her, but then the bus came and it ran past. It didn't stop. It just went past the bus stop. I was like, wasn't she supposed to be going on that bus? And the bus didn't stop and she was gone. So I got, what the fuck is happening? It's for me, it was like I saw the past. Something from the past. I took part in a past historical situation, and I couldn't help because she didn't even have the clothes that, well, I've always been around alternative people, so yeah, it's not strange that people have different clothes, but she was dressed like people were in the 80s. So I didn't think much about it because somewhere what 80s, 90s in dress, everyone clothe themselves like something about that age. But I was 17. It's some time ago. And that's not the only thing. I was together with one girl, and she used to tell me about her dreams, and I could see her dreams in front of me. And they were they're kind of chaotic. One of the dreams that she told me about was this. She was in a torture chamber, a room, and someone was bound to a chair, and people, kind of looking like grey suits, were torturing the person. And yeah, I don't know. She could tell me about a lot of strange things. But one day, she is the one that I have had the longest and the most intensive entanglement with. Well, yeah, I've had entanglements with
other people too. But that entanglement that I had with her was so deep that we became one. It's really difficult to explain. We started dressing similarly, like hippies. She was a goth, I was a punk. Hippie is not in between that. Hippie is far away from that lifestyle, but it's very loving, and the feelings that it kind of changed us into something that we weren't used to see. We were in our own dark ages, to say. But she, when it's, it feels so unreal, but at the same time it's real, and I don't know how to explain it. We were lying on the bed, she was sleeping, I was watching the TV, and then I felt strange. I felt strange. I can't describe that feeling. I just felt strange. So I looked to my left, and from her head there came this silvery object. Not object. It was more like quicksilver that came out of her top of her head, and then it went along the wall up to the roof, and then it went from her side and it went to like 1.5 meters from me, and then just dropped down on the bed, and it was going towards me. I was like this big and quicksilver, and it moved towards me, and then she woke up, and when she woke up it vanished. That girl and me, we had a really, really tight mental connection to each other, which is very difficult to explain. Well, I know what I saw was real because, well, I'm gonna talk about that in a later video, but I'm gonna talk about reality. So, I've seen strange things, right? But at my awakening, I saw even stranger things. From the wall, from a totem that we had on the wall, I picked it down from the wall after this, because I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't move. I laid down, and then I was sitting upright like this in the bed. I woke up because I was moving like this. I do not move like that at night. But anyway, and at the wall there was like this hole, this strange hole, and it's out from it came a being of light. I don't know how to explain it. It was like prisms. So take a prism, you crush it, and then you create some kind of I'm gonna try and paint it. I didn't see much more than like this, coming out of the wall from a hole, and it was prisms. It was like prism. I need to search for it. Come on, come on. Prism. Let's see if I can find anything at all. Like crushed prism then. Can I find anything that is like prisms? Well, this is a good interpretation of what I saw. There. Something along this pattern, kind of, with this color like crushed, and like this, and it did this, and I was no, and it released me, and I fell back, and I fell asleep again. That's not enough, because the son of a bitch did it one more night again. So I had to say no 2 freaking times. That's one person that don't listen to people. Yeah. Anyway, I've also seen saw a dark figure in my apartment, and it got afraid of me, and it's not been in my apartment since I actually used my... how should I talk about this then? Because I didn't go into the spiritual world at all, because that's gonna be in a later video. But I got stuck paralyzed at my bed. Like, I woke up paralyzed, my heart hurt, and I was hurting, and I was angry, and I got more and more and more angry, and I didn't understand why I got angry, and I wanted to move over, and I couldn't, so I got angry, so angry that I couldn't do anything else but to do that. So I was on my back, and I watched down, and there, by the foot side, to the right, I see somewhat a feminine figure, looking like a short 169 centimeters, 170 centimeters long woman or something, with black rags. Note to self, tell everyone that it was black. Yes, it was black, pitch black, like a void of light. This has been in my thought for a very long time. It was a void of light, meaning it's probably higher frequency than I am usually able to see. So it's above white, and when it's above your frequency, perceivable frequency, it becomes dark. I've tried to I have a video somewhere that I've made about this dark figure, I think. And I got really angry, and all I wanted to do was get that person and scream no in their face, but I couldn't reach. I couldn't move, so I couldn't reach, and I was so angry. And I saw this blue-ish transparent arm rising out of my arm, and moving towards the entity that I saw. It took a hold of the entity and dragged it into my face, being like this close to my face, where I screamed no to it. And while I did this, its eyes, which were like this small, like say 1.5 centimeters, yellow, that was the only distinguishable color from that, because the other was like a void of everything, void and yellow eyes. And I dragged it and I screamed no into its face, and its eyes that were so small went to be like this big, the double size, like it was afraid. And then it flew away. And I stepped up and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I've never seen it again. It's also, I don't know about my neighbor, but he usually had these problems with... I've heard many people talk about like dark entities, watching over them while they're sleeping, and they will wake up with this pressure on their chests, and that's only happened one time to me, and that was that one time. And I don't know, it feels like I did something wrong, like I want to... All life is sacred, all life is equal, all life is sacred, all life is equal. And it's treating someone like that. I wouldn't even treat a fly like that. So I don't understand where the anger came from. But when I think about it, it could be the entanglement, and I got angry because it was a build-up of that feeling. I don't know. Anyway, this was about 1.5 years ago when I moved into this apartment. And all things cannot be seen. That's how I see it. You can't find anything. Well, the world is so freaking big. How are you supposed to find something? Even if you go through with the visible light spectrum, you need to go past that in order to it has such a high frequency that it instead looks like it doesn't have a high frequency at all. It instead looks like it doesn't have a frequency. That's why they become void, because, or they have a lower frequency and the background is making them, they're being of light anyway. They are beings of light, but they are misinterpreted as beings of darkness, because the background is often able to reflect more light than they are. And that's because they are denser in mass. These entities are not are not dense, so they don't reflect that much light. I do wonder what they are. I actually do. Yeah. You can call that strange, but I got chills, they're multiplying. It's going down my spine. Feels like I might have attracted something that I shouldn't had attracted. I don't know. Anyway, at the awakening, I saw things that I never thought I would see, because my vision went from the normal one into taking in 3-4 times the amount of information. I don't know how to express that more thoroughly. It's like a time differential thing. I was living in a less dense I don't, how should I express that? It's like I took in 4 times the amount of time into a shorter distance of time, or back to we're back to this again. So this is the perceivable time, and here am I, watching everything in slow motion. All of this in slow motion, in order to get the same pace. It's a differential in frequencies. At the time it was really I don't know how to express myself. It was first off, the phone. I felt the phone. It was hurting me. It was hurting me. I couldn't be more than like 2 meters from it. If I got closer to it, my heart started to hurt. And the same was with the computer, but it's even worse because of the electromagnetic field it emits. It's the electromagnetic field that the computer emits is kind of like 10 meters. And first I woke up in the middle of the night. This was the third night. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I think it was at 4 at night. My heart was hurting. And it was like burning. It felt like it was burning because it was hurting some fun. So, like, I don't know how to express myself in English when it comes to that. Oh, fuck. Damn. It was hurting like hell. And I noticed that the further away from the phone and the computer I got, the easier it got. But I started feeling more. I started feeling all the electricity in the house. And I was like, I felt like I was going to freaking die if I stayed in the house. So I went out, and the whole house was a big energy field. And it hurt. I don't understand how I can be in this now. I'm not that sensitive now, but that's because I told myself I can't live like that. So I have a great mental capacity. So in one way, I've a great my self-discipline is really strange. Anyway, what I saw then and what I felt then, I haven't felt that afterwards, and that's because I went out of the house and I sat down by the ditch on the road, and I just watched the insects fly around at night, and I watched the flowers, something that I hadn't done since I was like little. And I just watched them, and it calmed me, and it was nice. I really liked it. Then I heard a bird, and I was like directly turning towards it, and I watched it, and every time it made a sound, this field of light came from it. It was white. So it made a sound, and a white field was emitted, like this big for me. And I was like, from the bird and out, in a circle around it. And then it flapped the wings. And then it made a new ring came, and it flapped the wings, and I was like, okay. So in order to fly, they make the words so they're not breaking gravity. They're using a specific frequency to disturb the electromagnetic field, and by that they can flap their wings without using energy. Holy crap, that's a strange thing. How cool. How do you even start thinking like that? Because that was how I was thinking after I woke up. And that is also how I've been thinking since then. Like, everything is electric. Everything is connected in... Oh, I don't want to think about it because I don't know how to express it. It's have you seen the screensaver in the Matrix? You see all the numbers and stuff like that. Okay, take everything. take that and just run it at 100 times and a lot of information in there. That's my brain. I'm trying to pick up some of the info along the way. There's so much more. I thought my head were going to explode the first time it happened, because it was it hurt and it felt like my head was expanding, which was really strange. I haven't had any headaches for years now, because when I took in the information, I don't know how to say it otherwise, because it's a reorganization of the information that you have already consumed. That's what it is. So you have your first 30 years, you consume a lot of information, and when your 30 years are up, you might or might not have an awakening that rearranges all that information so that it's more linear. Mine is still not done. It's been 3 years now, and I've still not figured out how to do certain things. Damn, I'm warm. I'm usually not this warm. Ah, this is nice. I'm even red. I'm usually not red, because I'm white. Yes, white. I was thinking of white as a sheet, not white. Yeah, that's racist. Oh, anyway. So for about... So when I had my awakening, I was a smoker, and I used something that's called snooze. And snooze is like this, and you put it on your lip, and we're not gonna give that any sponsorship. It's disgusting. Anyway, I was using that and cigarettes. I was eating meat, and I was also drinking, until the awakening, where I was no longer, and I have still not wanted to have a cigarette. I stopped smoking and using snooze, which is 2 products that is not good for you at all, and I stopped with that at the same night. It was so freaking strange. Yeah, and I also stopped using alcohol, but about 5 or 6 months in, with actually, yeah, I'm not really good at pressure, so a relative of mine was, oh, you can't disregard from all the happy things that exist in the world. You can't stop living, so you should at least be drinking alcohol. Like, yeah, poison is what it is. It got me out of the state I was in, because I indulged in poison. I poisoned my fucking body, and I poisoned it with sugar, which I have also been doing lately, because I started eating fucking candy again. The thing was that when I had that, I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating candy. I stopped eating eating things with sugar in it. When I started eating things with sugar in it, I lost the I started losing the state I was in. Everything started to slow down again because my body was in such a high frequency. So I was back again tuned with everyone else. It makes me a bit sad, but yeah, because I wanna get back to that state again. But I don't wanna. I don't know how. Uh, I don't. I want to get into that state without using substances. I don't know how. I don't know how. And the only thing that could help me is cannabis, and I don't want to use that because it's a substance. But what it does is, I'm not going to talk about that because I'm not going to promote it. Because it's illegal here in Sweden, so I shouldn't promote it. But there's a lot of positive studies about it. And we have endocannabinoid system in our freaking body. Oh. But ignorance is bliss, right? Holy. Yeah, I'm just getting warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer. Oh, I'm getting so happy about that. You know why? Because I've been freezing for 3 years. Because when I woke up, it was like the whole of me was burning and burning inside, and I was hot, and to the touch I was cool. That's very, very strange, actually, because inside I felt like I was burning, but outside I felt cool. And there was other things too. Two of my friends, well, one of my friends and his girlfriend asked me if I had been baking bread. Hello, that was in the middle in the morning. I just woke up and they came into my room and said it smells like baked bread. Have you been baking? And I was like, what? I just woke up. Why the fuck would I be baking? And then I was thinking about higher frequencies versus lower frequencies. And this is how I came about to think about cancer. If the higher frequencies, if the frequencies are too high, then you will burn other people. And they will get cancer, basically. I don't know. It's about the frequency differences between people. Shit, I haven't thought about this for 3 years. Oh no, please stay warm. I haven't thought about this for 3 years because I've lost friends to cancer. And I started thinking about maybe they got cancer because they were a lower frequency than those they hung around with. It's like microwave waving people. I don't want to think about it. It's strange, but when when they both said that they both said that they felt the smell of baked bread, one of the indications that you have a growing cancer is that you feel something burnt. So I got panicked by that. I started drinking water like fucking crazy, like a madman, until my core temperature just got down. And I've been cold ever since, because, yeah. And I don't pick up other people's frequencies that good either. And, yeah, I don't know if I should talk about this, because they were children. Well, I've talked about everything else, why not say this? There was children at multiple occasions, multiple meaning two different occasions, three actually, but third wasn't saying. Well, anyway, okay, it's not just children, but Alzheimer's is like taking somebody back to their childhood, so it's basically like a child. So, but yeah, so there, I was walking around eating strawberries, and a child, I heard it. It was pointing towards me and telling his mum that he saw an angel. And he was pointing to me, and I was like, okay, I don't know. But I felt something above my head, and this strange, I don't know how to, it's like energy coming out from the back. And if kind of, I don't know how to express it, because it comes in the back and it goes out, and it kind of, I don't I don't know how to express it. It's actually feels like you're flapping a couple of wings on your back. It's like so strange feeling. I felt it multiple times the first 5 months until I started drinking alcohol. I felt it all the time, and it was nice, pleasant feeling. It's another time, the day before that, I think, where I met my grandfather, or the days before that I met my grandfather that has Alzheimer's, and he looked at me, and the energy I got was he didn't know who I was, but somewhere he knew something about me, and he watched me, and then he smiled, and then he said, I think you forgot to pack your wings. I was like, what a strange thing to say. And I just started to cry. Let's go back to, well, and then after that, at the same time, I heard his I got his hearing. So he had really bad hearing. I didn't remember that, but when I entangled with him, connected with him, I felt that. I could hear as if I was him, which is really crazy too, in one way. I'm not crazy, am I? I don't know, really, because in the beginning I spoke with a lot of people. The strange thing was that I was sitting on Skype and people just added me from all over the world. It was like 200 people, and they started to talk to me, and they were talking about things that were happening to them. And we were talking about how CERN was the strange thing was, every time that CERN was active, we had strange dreams. So we were about 50 people continually talking each and every day, and we were recording. I think one of the people actually tried to sue them because they were in the frequency range of the mind, and some of the people it's some subconscious frequency that they're using. I don't know which one, but they were in a frequency that they shouldn't be at, to say it simple, because the frequency they were at, I don't know if they actually just sent things out or just tested things, but every freaking time they had CERN active, we started to notice things like the Mandela effect things. Mandela effect things are, you remember something, and when you see it, it's not what you remember. So people started telling us that we have something, our memories are bad. But if you are able to connect with people's unconscious mind, then you're probably also able to overwrite it somewhat, because it's electric, and CERN is electric, and I'm not going to talk about it. It's so strange. But anyway, it's probably not just CERN. There's more than CERN out there. CERN is just one particle accelerator. There's multiple particle accelerators. We just hear about one of them. There's a whole freaking ring around the whole planet of particle accelerators. Did you know that? No, probably not. And in the beginning, when I started feeling other people's feelings, this is not so strange for me. But the one thing that was strange was that when I connected with people, I felt their feelings, and afterwards, if they were bad or good, it either started to rain or something else crazy happened, like sunshine. I remember one thing. My friend came over to the house because he was going to go in and talk to my other friend. I was living with two other friends, and the third friend came to talk to the other two. And I was sitting outside meditating because from nowhere, I started to meditate daily, and it was really hard in the beginning because I got disturbed by each and every sound that was every time, and I got angry every time I got disturbed. But I meditated, I kept on meditating till I could just find some kind of peace inside. And it's 3 years later and I still have that peace inside, that calm inside. I don't need the daily meditation. I meditate when I need to meditate. When I start losing track of myself, that's when I start meditating. But one of these days that I sat down meditating, my friend came and he said, "One day I'm probably gonna see you levitate." I was like, nothing's impossible, was my answer. It's like this. And it was a grey sky. And I said to him that, well, it's like, it's gotta be sunshine very soon. But first, you gotta rain. So, the thing is, like, it's going to be sunshine, and I pointed to a place. But first, we need rain. And it started to rain, and then the sun shone. The clouds departed, and the sun shined upon us. And this happened within 5 minutes. It wasn't even that much rain that needed to be released in order to do that. And I was like, it's like normal. Or when and after that happened, I actually I've been thinking of older past memories where I've been angry and there's been thunderstorms, and I don't get angry that often. I've only been that angry one time, and I was so angry because one of my friends were trying to hook up with my ex that left me 1 month earlier, and it took me 7 years to get over her. So or 8 or something, I don't know, I don't freaking care. 10 years maybe. It's 2019 now, and I know I'm over her now. So let's say 10 years, because it's yeah. But he was flirting with her, and he said, I told him, "Could you please respect me? That we're friends. Could you please respect that I don't want anyone flirting with her, especially not the people that I know?" And I don't know about her, but this is new. And he was like, "It's open season." And I got so angry, but yeah, okay. I can't control it. It's out of my hands. That evening, that night, it was about 2,600 lightning um, lightning bolts in the sky. It didn't go down to earth. It was in the clouds. More like I was so angry, and I wanted to keep myself calm, and at the same time I wanted to fucking kill myself because I didn't want to feel those feelings, because I was not especially friendly towards her, because I was angry at him. So I got angry at myself, and bam, lightning everywhere. and I at the time I didn't think that much of it, because it's just a coincidence, right? That I'm fucking super angry at the same time that about 5,000 lightning bolts in the sky is seen in Sweden. Over I can't remember how long it was, but it was over that night. I was recorded that it was like 5,000 lightning bolts or something like that. So, and I was talking to a friend, well, a girl that I got into, because I got entangled with her. This was about 2 years ago, or 2.5. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It was October when she told me it would never happen anything between us. And it was like taking the thread that was connecting us, cutting it off. It felt like that. And I got really sad. First time when she said that, nah, I'm seeing someone right now, and I got, yeah, okay, I got a little bit sad about that. But I didn't show that to anyone, but it was raining, and a couple of days later I said something like, yeah, but nothing is for certain, it could end tomorrow. And she said, we're never gonna become anything, never gonna have a relationship. And I got so cold at my heart. It's like it became ice. And you know what? It started to pour down rain, and a couple of minutes later it started to freeze, so it was snowing, and it was snowing for, I can't remember how long, but it was snowing in October, and it's not natural how much snow it was. This is how I came to the conclusion that Earth is connected with some or all people on Earth, and that is why we need to learn more about ourselves. And from there on, it's been freaking scary. Every time anything happens to me, I become a chicken shit, and I get really freaking scared. I don't want to have connections with anyone, because if I do have connections, something happens. I was really sad. One of my friends told me that she didn't want to be my friend anymore. I got so sad that I didn't know what to do, but apparently the weather knew exactly what it wanted to do, because it started pouring down rain, and because I got emotional about it, I got afraid, because I was thinking about the story of Noah and my own theories about the Earth being connected to a few people or a lot of people, and or everyone. And I got so scared that I tried to calm myself, but the more I tried to calm myself, I got it became stressful, and I saw the rain, how it went from this angle down to this angle, and how people that were standing at the bus stop, this was at the evening, so it was dark outside, because it was I can't remember, 1.5 years ago, basically, and it was pouring down, and it went almost horizontal, almost, because it was blowing. I was so stressed up that it was blowing, and the trees were like this, and I was like, okay, no, I need to calm down. And when I eventually could calm myself down, it all stopped. So the last time here now, when I actually got fucking, I was so frustrated and angry, but I swallowed it, because I thought it was my fault, because I was sitting with Linux. I was thinking I need some help with it, and one of them states that, yeah, you need to uninstall some things, but you need to do this first. So he gave me some commands, and I trust him, because he's helped me before, and it seems like he know what he's doing, so I am trusting him. And my computer goes bananas, and I get really angry at him for first, and then come to my senses, and I understand that, yeah, okay, so we just deleted the visuals for Linux. So what I can do now is I just reinstall it if I can connect to the internet. Can I connect to the internet? So I was checking that up first, because it was just console, because I couldn't start xinit, the visuals, xorg in Linux. I couldn't start that, so I started getting really frustrated, because I thought I would have to uninstall the computer or reinstall the computer. So I was up in flames, basically, and in full on fear mode. So I start writing a lot of things in the console, trying to find the things, and whoo, yeah, I couldn't start it, but I could connect to the internet, and he helped me. And then he fucked up again with the commands, and then he told me that I fucked it up. He couldn't even, he gave the support, but because I put my fingers on the keyboard and wrote what he told me, then it was my fault. And I got really fucking angry. You're helping me, You are giving me the commands. I am trusting you. And you say, you here state that I fucked it up. And then all the others were like small little devil angels. And they ganged up to save the one. I don't like how people think it's a good thing to help others when they weren't a part of it. But they also started to judge me differently afterwards, which made me... Well, I did get really angry, and I said, fuck you, name. And others were, you told, they projected more of their own interpretations of what I said. I had to say no. I said fuck you because I was fucking angry. That's a normal reaction when you get angry, isn't it? So, and they told me that I was calling everyone idiots and stuff like that, and I was, what? No, I said fuck you. That's not idiots. Stop projecting and adding to the circus. You're not part of it. Do not become part of it. It's between me and him. So get away. And that kind of mentality that people have, the self-righteousness that people have to indulge in other people's festivities, is what made me really angry. So I said that I wrote a message stating that most of you are not more mature enough to understand when someone is saying no. And no means no, and you should listen to that. I were angry because I trusted the person, and eventually we actually fixed the problem. But you people tried to pin shit on me just because I was the one putting in the last work. I didn't do the work. I just put in the things. Why did I get credits for something I didn't do? This is one of the backwards thinking that we have here. It's so I got really freaking angry, and I said I'm not gonna stay here because this is a toxic environment. And that evening, it was I cooled down and I didn't think much of it, but then I was sitting down later, like 5-6 hours later, and or if it was more, I think it was in the no, that was about around 1, and about 12 hours later I was sitting and writing some stuff on the internet, and then I was talking about that, and I just I reacted to some blue light, and I was like, okay, the police is out, so I just keeping on. But then there was a lightning that smashed down, and it exploded. That I thought it was a hand grenade or something exploding outside of my fucking window, and the window was like wobbling back and forth. I've never seen it do that. The shock wave from the explosion made the glass wobble, so I thought it would actually come inside and be all over the apartment. So I was, what the fuck is happening? And then I noticed, oh, it's lightning outside. But what I did, instead of trying to calm myself, I started to build upon it instead, which was fun in one way. I was focusing on on situations that changed me emotionally, and I focused on one kind of anger, but since it wasn't genuine, nothing really happened. It was like the lightning bolts were just discharging the anger or the negative the negative emotions, or the overpowered emotions, was like just a discharge. So I'm not really that such an angry person, so I couldn't add to it because it wasn't genuine feelings. But what I could add to it was more or less rain, because those feelings were genuine as soon as I thought about them. Which was really interesting, because I calmed down and the rain calmed down, and who knows, I could be fucking delusional also. But anyway, after all of this have happened, I've been propagating that the Messiah is a messenger of wisdom. It's not some holy person that's well, we have Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the first to develop a greater understanding and a greater understanding of the forces of nature and the mindscape of the human psyche, basically. And for me, I've been titling myself as the Messiah. I don't know if it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. One side of me hopes I'm not the Messiah. From time to time, I hear my own voice in the head stating I am Jesus, which is something that every time I hear it, I say no, I'm not Jesus. Which is why I come into the other part. I'm going to talk about the Antichrist also in the next video. I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost in my own thoughts. I'm walking in circles around my own thoughts. I have no one to talk with about it. Because if I talk about it, people think that I'm sick. But I will eventually come to the point where I actually go into more things. I still have the video about the Antichrist. I also have the video about reality, and especially how I do my videos. But I don't need to do that because, well, I make my videos like this. I just sit and talk. I can talk for hours because there's no stopping me at all, because everything's in my head. And I can choose two roads. Either I'm just quiet, or I tell everyone. If I tell everyone, it's both good and bad. If I don't tell anyone, then people will still run around talking about God, Allah the Almighty, which is life. No man can be Allah. Allah has no face. Right? Wasn't that what Muhammad said? Then it's life. Life. There is nothing else, because life doesn't have a face. Life isn't a person. It's a force. You can call it a force of nature. Yeah. I don't know, but somewhere along all of this, I got this grandeur idea, or you know, when you're lost in your headspace, when you think about things all the time, and you think about the positives and the negatives and a lot of things, and you see connections. Yeah, I need to. I'm gonna talk about that later in another video, but yeah. So. I just want to make these videos and then just stop thinking about it. That's why I write out things. That's why I make things, so I can stop thinking about them. So they can just leave me. They're like demons in my head. I don't know how to express this otherwise, but yeah. They're disturbing my peace, so to speak. Can you go and die, please? Yeah, thank you. I'm getting a bit tired. It's not that strange though, since I've been sitting here constantly talking for about, I don't know how many hours. Many. And I still have a couple of more hours to sit down and talk. So before I go to bed, I'm gonna use the flow that I have so I can upload the videos on Lightbringer and YouTube. And I don't know if I'm gonna upload it 3 times on YouTube or just on one channel. I have no idea. I have one channel with a brand channel, which it should be at, but I need to contact YouTube to get the support that I need, because it's I don't want to have another channel up upon that like I have right now. Oh, sorry. Anyway, the Messiah, if you are into scripture just a tiny little bit, then it's stated that Messiah is going to come at end times, and it's not just that stating it, it's the Hopi Indians talking of their white brother, and everything happens for a reason, right? there's at least 3 religions. And then there's stories about this person when I had my awakening the day after. I was crying so fucking much because of this is why I say that it's equal life in trees and leaves and snails and insects and fish and everything. Everything is so freaking wrong with this world. Everything is backwards. Everything is people are backwards all the time in everything. They do things backwards. It's strange. So strange. So strange. I cried so much because I don't even know how to explain what I felt. I just felt sadness from everything around me. It could be my own sadness opening up and being projected upon everything else. I don't know. But what I do know is that I know things about the psyche that few people go through with and come back as not insane. That's strange. Diamond's carbon atoms are bonded in essentially the same way in all directions. Oh, so diamonds are carbon. Yeah, I've been talking about that a bit too. About carbon. Because we're carbon based, so basically when we die and get into Earth's pressure, we would become kind of diamonds. And diamonds are forever. Yeah. Nah. I'm gonna end this now. I had a feeling that I need to create the next video that is about the Antichrist, the most evil that will be on Earth. Well, thank you for watching this strange story, I think. Yeah. Feels strange. Always feels strange about talking about it like third person. But yeah, thank you and goodbye.